This is the Healey Brothers Show.
Well, guys, thanks for taking the time. Welcome to the Healey Brothers Show. I just want to introduce two special guests because it's our grand opening night. We got Bob Kim, VP of Sales at Hyundai, John Szymanski, Regional Manager for us here, and we're super excited. It's such a fun night. We got James Barrett, our GM of the Hyundai facility, my brother Dylan Healey, and then the owner, one of the big men on campus is Dwight Healey. He's finally doing his first podcast with us, so it's a big day for us.
Welcome aboard.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, this is just going to be a fun one. There's not many chances we get to see you guys too often, so we just want to talk about Hyundai, our partnership, where it's going, and really just do it for the consumer. Like, what are we
I'd like
here?
to say one thing.
But, let Dwight jump in.
I am very, very happy that both of you guys joined us for this celebration. You know, I know how busy you are, Bob, with your son graduating from Penn State, to take the time, both of you guys, to come up here and enjoy this grand opening was fabulous. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity to actually be here and celebrate this with you. So totally worth it, and excited about the future between the Healey organization and Hyundai. And we've got huge plans to continue to grow, and it's our responsibility to our dealer partners to support them and create the best product for our consumers. And we're just getting started. So this is the beginning of a long partnership in this new facility, for sure.
Bob's responsibility is the whole eastern half of the U.S. from a VP of sales standpoint. So, you know, I'm glad he was able to come here. Obviously, you know, I know you guys super well, and Bob's been able to come here a few times already now. But you're such a big part now of not only my part, which is just the eastern region, the Northeast U.S., but of what Bob covers. You know, the difference you can make in our business is pretty substantial. So I'm glad that Bob came. I'm glad he's getting to know you guys and, you know, really take this to what we think is going to be the next level. You've got the facility now to handle any kind of volume you could possibly need and deliver great customer service. And I think if you've got that kind of 1-2 combination, you know, we're so pleased to see the response tonight with everybody that you were able to invite, and a beautiful day for a beautiful facility. And, you know, I think you even closed a couple car deals while we were here, actually.
We did.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the first thing I want to talk about is when it comes to mind that we built this massive 50,000 square foot facility. Where did that come from? Is it all? I know it's all customer centric. That's why you guys do these things. If you just give a little input on what made you guys decide this design, this layout, and what it was like also working with us to do this through this whole thing.
So, you know, the company has tremendous plans in the future to grow. And, you know, we just last year was the third consecutive year of best ever sales. We're on pace this year again to set an all-time retail sales and total record. You know, our goal is to achieve, I think, 875,000 sales this year. And as we're on this path, we need to make sure that we have dealer partners that create a facility and create an environment, and also we can't forget about the team, like the employees at your organization. To attract the best talent, you have to have the best facilities, right? So we're putting in the infrastructure right now to capitalize on what our company and our future plans are, right? And so as the units in operation continue to grow, we need dealerships like this that are going to be able to handle the future service work. And if we don't, you know, we're entering, you know, we want to take over. As I mentioned with this turtle boat, you know, our goal here is, you know, we want to continue to grow and we want to beat the Japanese. And for us to do that, we can't just be even when it comes to what we invest in the market. We can't be even when it comes to our product. We've got to be better, right? So that's how we're going to attract and conquest these customers. And so upgrading the facilities, you know, and working with dealers that'll make that investment in the brand, you know, and now it's our responsibility to make sure that we also support it with the best product.
And the other thing is attracting and retaining the best talent of employee that you can. When we talk to a lot of dealers that have made the investment in facilities, particularly in the service operations, when you've got dealerships that went from a non-air conditioned shop to bringing in air conditioning, or having built-in toolboxes, or doing the things that they need to do with even as simple as having a nice break room and locker room where the technicians can get changed. And that's probably one of the toughest caliber of employee to find right now, is good service folks that are going to work, the ladies and gentlemen that are working our service departments, and having a leg up on everybody else by providing such a great environment for people to work in. You attract people, they're happier, they're doing a better job, they're taking better care of customers, it shows in what they're doing, it vibrates throughout the whole organization, and the next thing you know, you're generating that momentum. And I think if we wouldn't have really had a lot of our dealers buying in and investing in these facilities for the future, like Bob said, we wouldn't be setting ourselves up for success down the road without retaining the human capital that we need to retain as a brand.
Yeah, so I mean, James and Dylan. James, you're here every single day. Dylan, you're here a lot. What's your perception on the build, how it lays out, how we operate here? Just give your take, because you're the day-to-day business. You deal with the consumers every day, and you guys are the one that's here living.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. Having a facility like this attracts a person as an employee. They want to work here. When they walk in and they get interviewed, we've been so fortunate in our area here that you put Healey Brothers on top of a building, we attract excellent talent. But when you combine that with an unbelievable facility and the name, the amount of higher end talent that wants to come here, I mean, it's we've seen it already in just a few months, especially on the technician side. Air conditioning, I'm sure, is a bonus, but a beautiful facility, having an opportunity to work for what I consider in our area, I always go back to the Yankees. I really consider us, we are the Yankees. When it comes to a brand, everybody wants to put on the pinstripes. But now we don't just have, the brand, we have a facility that exudes, just top of the line customer service, top of the line options or benefits for our employees.
James, if I could interject, it's our culture. It's your culture, what you believe in. That's why you're the general manager here. You believe in the culture of taking care of people and doing the right thing.
Yeah, and that's gotten us to where we are now as an organization. As I mentioned, 47 years in business, you don't get there by not taking care of people. So, having that kind of culture and that kind of long-term feeling in our area with the brand, it makes finding talent so much easier. And again, the combination of the most amazing facility that I've ever walked into, this is by far like this. We have a room inside of our office, inside of our dealership, where we're having a podcast. Mm-hmm. We have a beautiful.
Yeah, I know those guys. Those guys love it on the podcast.
I mean, we have unbelievable training facilities, so we're investing, right? We have a training area where, the most important part is to make sure that our staff knows how to take care of people, right? We're not just winging it. We have a specific guideline of what it takes in order to be an employee here, and we're setting up our employees to thrive, especially in the sales department, especially, right? I mean, we are training people to be unbelievable salespeople that will give our customers long-term confidence that we're going to take care of them throughout the sale, throughout service. I mean, there's nothing else that we can do in this building that'll give a customer an understanding that we want to make sure we want to take care of them for a very long time. Yeah. So between the culture, the beautiful building, the investment, this makes the job a lot easier.
So, Dill, I just want to, I know you always have a different perception on everything. You see it a little differently. How is the facility? What are you seeing from customers? What are they saying? Are they saying, oh my God, craziest facility ever? Like, give us a little touch on it, what you're seeing and with the employees too, because you're close with them, you're friends with them at the same time as you're their boss. So.
Yeah, for sure. At the old building, there was days where you'd walk in and, right off the bat, 7:30 a.m., you'd see a couple frowns around the place. You walk into this building, every single person when you walk in is smiling. There's not one person down. Everybody's smiling. Everybody's encouraging the person next to them. And you talk about, bringing in talent. James is probably one of the better guys I've seen in the industry about growing his talent. He grows from within. He trains, 3 times a week. He wants to groom his people to be those people. So it's awesome to see. It's awesome to see smiles. The tension in the building has gone down significantly from our old building. You don't hear everybody talking. It's an easy place to do business. It's an easy place to talk, to create deals, to do service, and people. And you just hear people all throughout the building talking about, wow, this is spectacular. This is something special here. So
How about some of our customers? I can imagine they don't like the traffic jam they were getting at our old facility.
absolutely,
Doing
and
60 customers a day and just parking on the street.
No, for sure. And those are the people that you hear. I shake people's hands every single day I walk in this building, and they say, wow, this is amazing.
Question though, because when we first rolled out our program and we were going to tell 800 plus dealers that we were going to require them to invest in a new building, some of the comments that we would hear, and I think it's probably with every OEM, is that, well, facilities don't sell cars, facilities don't make customers happy. It's we don't need a new facility to, and this is what we were hearing 3-4 years ago when we rolled the program out. I'll be honest, I haven't heard that a lot since anymore. But
Hey, John, honestly, 20 years ago, I was like, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to sell me another car.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a believer.
yeah,
I think
Obviously, I'm a believer. I'm all in.
yeah, I know.
I'm all in with you guys. I believe in the brand, but it's filtered through our whole organization.
Mm-hmm.
We've invested in the last 5 years, since, let's say 4 years since COVID, in all of our facilities, because that's what sells cars.
Mm-hmm.
Service and parts sells cars. And you can never forget that huge part of the business that, when people have a problem, you better take care of it. You better handle that problem, get them in and out, and on their way.
Yeah, I think one thing, the way we switched our mindset is everything we have to do is be customer centric. Whether it's our facilities, how clean our bathrooms are. I know James makes every single person here take pride in the facility, whether it's our old one or not. Like, is the bathroom dirty? Is it clean? Is the service drive clean? Is there garbage outside in the parking lot and the floor? My dad, since I was a young age, we'd walk into a store, no matter what, if it was a small store, a Mitsu store that looked like it was a hole in the wall, the guy would pick up garbage off the floor. So there's little things to take pride in, and what we do has to be based around the customer, whether it's invest in a facility, just have the place cleaned all the time, have nice shrubbery outside, present the building that you have at all times. So I think that's where we really change, is instead of just selling, let's give the customer exactly what they want, serve them the way they want, and make everything perfect. So that's a big change. But let's have a little fun with the inventory questions now, and get a little excited about where are we going with the inventory? How are the EVs? Where are you guys seeing the inventory? The industry shift. Are we going hybrids? Is there anything new coming out? Whatever you can give us. I know that's a little touchy subject, but if you guys could expand on that part of it.
Well, the one thing I'll tell you is, you look at April sales, and April's not a bellwether sales month by any means, but we were up 31% in our EV sales just in the month of April. In fact, Ioniq 5 had its best sales month that it's ever had. We're it was up 59%. We're gung ho on electrification from a long-term strategy play. As you know, we've got a new meta plant that's opening up in Georgia in the fourth quarter of this year. It's going to have the ability initially to produce about 300,000 units. It's providing a lot of jobs to people down in the Savannah area of Georgia. So I think as a company, you can say that we're certainly all in on electrification. And the fact that this is a U.S. plant now, it's domestic production, allows us to qualify for the tax credits, gives us a lot of advantages coming up against some other brands that won't have that. So the fact that we, as soon as we had the opportunity, leaned in early, and if anything, challenged the folks that were in charge of construction to overachieve and open it early, regardless of the regulations or what consumer demand is, we're ready for it. Now we have the ability to pivot and go to hybrid if we need to, or switch things around. But I think if you look at other parts of the world and you look at where we're going from a long-term play, even if you have a slight dip right now, the trajectory is pretty clear where we're going. So I think, if anything, rather than being a fast follower like we were before when things changed and the winds changed in the industry, I think we're pretty well set for anything that comes our way. In fact, we're probably going to be ahead of everybody else. I'll let you, I know, Bob, you're probably closer to it than I am.
Yeah, and we're right now, when you look at the current market, there might be some more negative sentiment out there than versus what you're seeing from a positive perspective. And a lot of the first adopters that have moved into electrification have probably already bought. But we're now in the cycle where we've got to figure out how are we going to position our product where those intenders that are 50-50 between gas engines and EVs go to EV. And it's things like improving infrastructure. It's things like getting over range anxiety. It's things about like your friend owning an EV and being able to, you ask them a question of, what's this going to do to my electric bill, right? And so we're at this inflection point in the industry right now where that 50-50 customer, it is going to start leaning over to EV because we have to think beyond just the benefit of, hey, this is me filling the gas tank up and I can go and I don't have to worry about things like that. But as we move forward, there's a lot of benefit to EV. It's a better riding vehicle. It's, our technology, when you look at how our product competes against the rest of the competition, we're better.
You want to touch on that a little bit more? Why is it better?
When it comes to ride quality, when it comes to just the fit and finish of our vehicles, when it comes to how things are thought out through the technology aspects of it, we're just better, right? We're not.
We agree with you, by the way,
right.
Bob. So
and quick charging and so forth, and things like, we're going to be part of the Tesla charging network, right? So that's a big thing about how do we charge our cars and overcome that stuff. We're being part of that. Then we're also joining a network of 7 other OEMs. We're going to add 30,000 charging stations here. So this summer, I think you're going to start seeing all of this investment take hold, and you're going to start seeing this accelerating curve. Right?
The other thing, when you think about the advantages, the fact that we have the level 3 charging capability, and the fact that you can charge from 10 to 80% in 18 minutes, and
that's huge.
You start looking at some of these other manufacturers and consumers. It's one of those things where I think that's where that buyer's remorse probably comes in, because when you're looking for an EV, it may not be one of the things on your checklist of like, hey, this is one of the things I'm going to focus on is, does it have level 3 charging capability? And you look at some of the competitive vehicles out there, and a lot of them don't have that. And a lot of them, they're going to find out after they buy that they're sitting at a charger for an extended length of time. And our vehicle, you don't have to worry about that, which is great. So I think, like Bob said, the infrastructure is going to continue to develop, and as that does, you're going to see better adoption. One reference I keep thinking about when you think about people considering what they're going to drive and what propels it, right? So think about that for a second. So you go back to the day, 15, 20 years ago, probably less than that actually, big full-size pickup trucks, right? All of them had V8s, right? Big SUVs, anything. It had to have a V8 engine, right? And when the manufacturers started putting in the 6s and the turbo 6s, and God, who's going to buy those things? Oh, these truck drivers want V8s. You got other brands. I mean, how many have V8s in them still? When you're selling these trucks, do people really care?
Not gonna lie, we kind of like a V8.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I
like that.
I took
Yeah,
I took my K5 Blazer down to the river this weekend, put my kayak in the back of it. So don't worry, I'm all about the V8s too. But I don't think from the consumer's mindset it's as big of a deal. In fact, I've had a lot of dealers that we talk to when we talk about why aren't we advertising hybrid more? Why aren't we doing this more? And a lot of the responses I'm getting is that when consumers come in, they just want a whatever vehicle. I want a Tucson. Great. Do you really care whether it's a gas or it's a hybrid? Sometimes they just don't care. They just want a car. If it's the right price, as long as they can put gas in it and it drives. If it happens to have hybrid capability, that's great, especially if it's price competitive. And I think that's more of what we're going to see is people aren't going to be as concerned about powertrain necessarily, whether it's electrified or not. And I think that's the crossover that we're getting ready to start seeing. And then people become more comfortable with BEVs, especially with the plug-in hybrids. When you can get consumers to start adapting to a plug-in hybrid where they have the best of both worlds. They can test it out. All of a sudden, they like the fact that, hey, I can go to work and back without having to have a gasoline engine being used at all. And they start to realize that works for their life. So, and that's where I think our product strength is we can really straddle all those different lines and take consumers on that journey at their own pace when they're ready to move to that next step.
So James, you were going to say something. You want to?
Well, I was gonna kind of make a statement, I guess. Like, what is it? No, I guess it's a question.
Yeah, anyone could ask questions.
Yeah, I mean, what is it going to take for us, as from Hyundai's standpoint, to take these Tesla owners and get them to recognize that there is a better vehicle, a more reliable vehicle, a smoother driving vehicle, a higher level of technology and ease of use vehicle out there, to start cutting into that, cutting into those sales. Because if you drive both of them, I never ever put down another car. You never want to do that in theory, but when you're talking about electric vehicles, I drive a Tesla. I've driven a Tesla, and there was nothing exciting about it in my eyes. And every magazine, every review will tell you one of the Ioniqs 5 or 6 is a far superior vehicle in a million different ways, but yet somehow people are still captivated by saying, I own a Tesla. Meanwhile, they can own another vehicle that is better at a very similar, if not very competitive price. How do we change that view from a national standpoint to get more people in our cars?
I think they were smart in developing that charging network as robustly as they did, and everywhere you go, you can find those Tesla chargers, So as Bob mentioned, I think the ability now for our next model year Ioniq to be able to connect to those networks and use that infrastructure is big. Because I agree with you. I stand by our product.
Is
for
it
sure.
just the charging stations, or is it?
I don't hear a lot of
else?
that.
I mean,
So-
affordability. Like, what is it really? 'Cause I don't think
that
charging stations are the only thing.
Keep in mind, when Tesla got going, there was no competition, right? So they've established themselves early on as kind of the first mover, right? In our industry, great product wins, right? You said it yourself. Once you compare the vehicles, there's nothing to compare. So it's on, our organization from Hyundai to make sure that we continue to increase our awareness on the vehicle so we can drive more traffic to our dealerships so that our dealers can do what they do best, right? And provide awesome sales and service experiences. And this is what we have to continue to focus on, right? So it takes some time to continue to increase the brand opinion. It takes some time to really bring Ioniq out, because as long, in our world, because we live in this automotive world, everybody knows what an Ioniq 5 and Ioniq 6 is. Not everybody does right now. And so there's a lot of people out there. And so, there will be certainly things that our company is going to be doing in the very near future to continue to support. But it is a consistent marketing effort to raise awareness on it. And we're very confident. Once you get a consumer driving, if they're driving a Tesla and they sit down and actually get behind the wheel of one of our, Ioniq 5 or Ioniq 6, it's a no-brainer. And as, all those other, objections that customers may raise between range anxiety, between charging network, all those things are getting chipped away. And so in the very near future, that advantage is gone, and then it's going to be product versus product. And, we're all in on EVs, and as John mentioned, we're opening our plant in Savannah. I mean, we're investing $12 billion, with
It's
a B.
a little bit of money,
Right?
I would
Right.
say.
But Bob, you're not forgetting about hybrid at all either.
No, and that's the beauty of our company is
Yeah.
that we can
You
flex.
can pivot.
We're nimble, where if we need to increase our hybrid production as sort of the stepping stone into BEV, we can do that.
And it's happening now. I mean, we had just April. We're coming off of our April sales month in 2024, and Elantra hybrid had its best retail sales month or total sales month ever. Tucson hybrid had its best sales month ever. Santa Fe hybrid had its best sales month, April ever. I mean, we're seeing that.
Yeah, and
I want to hear what you have to say about it.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
you-
So
I know you're
so
waiting to
you-
say
you
something.
just got one.
Yeah.
And I don't
Okay.
want to forget about the hybrid. So I just picked up a Tucson hybrid myself. I commute, 110 miles a day.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't forget about the Hyundai hybrid models.
Mm-hmm.
They're as good as any company comes. Great fuel efficiency. You know, my car is awesome. I get on the highway, I put it in speed and cruise. I put on that steering wheel icon, and
Yep.
and I'm cruising the whole way here. So
Well, you got an N line.
Yeah.
You know.
no, it wasn't the N line.
You didn't get an N line?
No, I got
Oh.
the SEL convenience.
Oh, excuse
We
me.
saved that for retail customers.
I
We saved that
remember
for
you went to N line.
we saved those for retail customers.
I just
Okay.
wanted to put out there the EVs are as good as any company makes, and the hybrids are right there too. The hybrid technology that you guys do, the dashboard on the right side where you get to see your charge and your eco and your gasoline power. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool to be a part of. It's cool to drive, and
Yeah, Tucson Hybrid actually just won Best Hybrid Award.
I mean, you guys win a million awards. It's hard to keep up with now.
Yeah,
It's
it's
true.
true.
We send them to auto shows. It's just Hyundai talking to all the awards.
Hyundai, yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry, not
we-
sorry.
No,
Yeah.
we send them for the weekend.
That's a
They
really
stay
bad
over.
problem.
Yeah.
Right?
It sounds like this is a marathon, not a sprint.
that's right.
Right, and you got in the investment of so many. I mean, I don't know what the percentage of dealers across the country that have decided to invest, but between in terms of
Facility
the
and
facility, the facility investment. I don't know what the percentage is, but from a marathon standpoint, we're growing. We're getting more of the name out there on all these other products that we weren't the leaders on. And then you also have these facilities now that are obviously bringing a different clientele in. We're not a budget brand. We are a high-end, high-value brand with beautiful dealerships now, and it's I know it'll change the minds of a lot of people that maybe were looking at high-end cars before. Luxury brands. We're getting people that come in the door now because we have this beautiful facility and also amazing product. The accolades, make up for the idea that I have to have a certain nameplate. We're getting so many more people that are looking at value, and I think in time, between the dealership investments,
And the experience.
and the experience, and with the product, I mean, all of these things are eventually going to gain traction. Not that we've been gaining traction, of course, but
Take
it's
on
gonna
the
start-
Japanese brands. That's what we're.
Japanese, German brands. I don't care what it is. I don't care if somebody's looking at an Audi, looking at a Honda, a Toyota. If you're not at a facility like this, looking at the product, you're missing out. And
So you've just described what I'll call the new Hyundai, right? I don't know if everybody knows this, but the Hyundai Group is actually the third largest automotive company globally, also in the United States. And people don't recognize that. And with the product and all the investment that we've made, we're seeing customers that you've never seen before. These are customers that can buy whatever they desire to buy. And that's the thing, is when we do their product right and our dealer network makes these investments in terms of the facility so that the purchase experience and the after sales experience are best in the industry, that's how we all collectively win together.
that's right.
And that's the vision. And you just described it.
So, Bob, you gave us this award for moving up for a new facility for our grand opening today. If you just want to touch on what this is for Hyundai, what it means, what it represents, that you handed my dad today for Healey Hyundai. Just want to touch on that gold boat you got there.
Yeah, I'd be glad to do it. So that's a Korean turtle boat, and it was used in the 16th century when Japan and Korea were at war with each other. So this boat is designed where it can't be sunk. And so it took on, a Fleet 11 took on over 200 Japanese ships and won. And so the symbolism behind that is the engineering, the ingenuity, right? And taking on the Japanese and defeating them in the future. And so when our dealer partners like you, Dwight, make this awesome investment in our brand, we want to give you that symbol to know that we're going to continue to provide that product, and we're going to take out the Japanese and continue our growth path into the future together. So,
Well,
Let's go.
yeah. Well, guys, I just want to say it's a pleasure. I know you guys are super, super busy. It means the world for us to show up, and we're glad to be partners, and we can't wait to watch this grow. So, thank you again, and thanks for taking the time today on this. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
yep, thank you.
Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, hit that subscribe button, and follow us at Healey Brothers on all social platforms.